Dear ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Greetings from Asian Productivity Organization. This is a live from the APO Secretariat Office in Tokyo, Japan, and we welcome all our viewers from APO member countries and beyond. I am Asiktambi Manikam from Policy and Analysis Division, and thanks to our viewers for joining us on this APO Productivity Talk series. And today, our topic is on how SMEs in Turkey tap into Industry 4.0. To discuss this topic, I am honored to welcome our guest speaker, Mr. Mustafa Serdar Tatek, General Manager and Chairman Board of Serdar Plastic A&S from Turkey. Good morning, Mr. Serdar. How are you?
Thank you, Aisha. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, thank you very much for APO to give me the opportunity to make this presentation, how to tap into Industry 4.0 for SMEs in Turkey. It's my pleasure to meet you here in Asian Productivity Organization, and thank you for joining us, and I hope that it will be a valuable time for everybody.
Yeah. Mr. Serdar is born in 1970 in Ankara and grew up inside the plastic technology with Serdar Plastic, which was founded in 1973 by his late father, Ms. Ilhami Tatek, who was the pioneer of technical thermoplastic injection molding industry in Turkey, and he was innovative and progressive vision. He graduated from METU Mechanical Engineering Department in 1993 and continued his education on thermoplastic engineering analysis. He worked at various departments and projects from the lowest level in Serdar Plastic Company. He created his own MRP software between 1984 and 1988, and it was used by Serdar Plastic until 2000. After his father's demise in 2012, Mr. Serdar became the chairman of the company and continuing as a general manager as well. Mr. Serdar currently holding different positions in NGOs as well, as we listed the different companies. So before I invite Mr. Serdar to start his presentation, we would like to encourage our viewers to send your questions and comments to Mr. Serdar in the chat box with your name and country, and he will answer during your Q&A session. Mr. Serdar, now the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Asay. It's my agenda for today. Firstly, as you know that Turkey is the new member of Asian Productivity Organization since March 2020. And therefore, I want to start my presentation to show some figures from Turkey. And secondly, I want to explain some opportunities of post-COVID-19, which is the most important subject for today for everybody, for each companies. And then I will talk about the vision of the industry of Turkey and the model factory, which is the most important vision of Turkey. And of course, the education, school and industry cooperation in my industrial zone of Ankara. And lastly, I will try to explain lean and digitalization history of Serdar Plastic, which was established in 2009 as a case study. Yes, Turkey, the new member of Asian Productivity Organization, almost in the center of the world with a population of 84 million people. And the capital city is Ankara. And Turkey shares a border with 8 countries. And also Turkey is surrounded by seas on 3 sides. We have a very young and educated population as shown on the population pyramid, which shows the future of Turkey is much powerful. And the importance of Turkey for Asian Pacific and for the world. If I talk some words, that Turkey is almost in the center of the world, which is very important for logistics and communication. On the other hand, we have the ability to make the transportation for the export by ship, by train, by truck, and by airplane, which is very important for time to logistics. And we have a very competitive labor cost as well. Turkey is the entrance door of Europe market for Asian Pacific group, because we have a very similar culture of food, education, and trade with Europe. And also for the Russia, for Africa, and for Arabia, for Asia Pacific, Turkey is a really good entrance door. I mean that Turkey, the member of Turkey, will be increase the power of Asian Pacific in the world. And related with Turkey figures, then the most important subject for today is COVID-19. All the companies, all the people, is the first word is COVID-19 for today. It was really a global crisis for everybody. In some periods like today, business is unfortunately not under our control. Today, COVID-19 is a pandemic is affecting all the business in all over the world, related with all the sectors and all the industries and everything. But of course, our duty as industrialists, we should not direct the wind, but we have to adjust our direction and steering according to the winds. So it means that although the situation is a global crisis, we have to manage our companies in according to the direction of the wind. As in all history, after each storm, we know very well that there will be winners and losers. I have figured some important opportunities of post-COVID-19. Almost all over the world, OEMs in automotive industry and the white good industry in all over the world start to change their supply chain to minimize the risk, because everybody has understood that transporting some goods from different continents is not so easy in some global crisis like COVID-19. The main focus is to share the current supplier orders with an alternative one, but of course in different continents. This will be a huge opportunity for new companies to enter the market. But of course, this will be also a big war of cost. I mean, the one who will be more productive will get the job. Disruptive innovation will be achieved only by digitalization. And another big opportunity that I see in post-COVID period, that during the pandemic, each country has clearly understood that the medical sector should be developed and strengthened in all the world. And on the other hand, if you look at the world, there is almost no completely new product since almost 30 years. It was the handyphone. And all the companies all around the world try to improve, try to make continuous improvements and efficiencies to produce the current products in much cheaper way. Every year, a little bit cheaper, a little bit cheaper, and a little bit cheaper. Otherwise, they will not be able to survive. But in a short time, I'm sure, in a short time, there will be completely new products for medical industry. It will be something like 20 years ago when the new product, handyphone, was started to be in the market. That makes a really big production also for the plastic industry, also for electronic industry, also for transportation industry. It's a big challenge. And of course, again, digitalization is very important in medical industry. Digitalization in medical industry will be started with the basics of connectivity between the devices and, of course, the doctors. As you see that in all of the world, before the COVID-19 and after the COVID-19, digitalization is the most important subject to have the to survive the companies their life. And of course, the government has a global projects, and I will try to explain in this now about the vision of the industry of Turkey. Ministry of Industry and Technology has a strategic plan for this coming 5 years period. The mission is to create a high-tech, competitive, sustainable, domestic and national industrial structure by the vision of Turkey with a strong industry and national technology, by the tools of constructing model factories, productivity academies, supporting programs, and the rest. The Turkish government has a vision for 2023. In this vision, it's obviously the two big items. One of them is R&D and innovation. The second one is microeconomy, entrepreneurships, and industrial policies. If I go to R&D innovations, you can see that the R&D expenditures will be more than 3% of GDP. And on the other hand, more than half of the R&D expenditures will be made by private sector. Number of full-time equivalent researchers will be more than 300,000, working on manned rocket to space and national satellites. National centers of excellence, venture capitals, and angel investors to turn R&D projects into the real business. If you go to microeconomy, you will see that manufacturing of medium and high-tech products will be supported, and the supporting technologies of technological developments. Manufacturing and R&D based in automotive industry, national car will be achieved in a very short time. Aircraft factories but this time for the commercial planes, and support production of unmanned arrival vehicles. The most important item in this region is the model factory. The model factory in my industrial zone of Ankara, I will try to add some words. This is an organization of industry minister, organized area, and also UNDP. The mission of model factory is to provide transformation of the SMEs, which are mostly, unfortunately, batch production, to the lean production culture with practical trainings in a real factory. In this factory, there is a freedom to make mistakes and then to guide them with the use cases to digitalization in production. Because if you look on the if you look on the efficiencies of the trainings for the previous trainings, if you get these trainings with hearing only, and you will have a recall rate after 3 months is only, unfortunately, 10%. If you get this training by seeing, is almost 30%, and if you do it by doing, like in model factory, it's more than 65%. Is it a new thing for the world? Of course not. If you look on the Confucius, he said that I hear and I forget, I see and I remember, I do and I understand. As you see that this is a subject for not today, for the time of the world. The lean is doing the things with less sources, satisfying explicit and implicit customer needs with the lowest consumption of resources by continuously eliminating the waste. If you look on the waste, there are 8 classical type of waste that we are facing in industry: overproduction, overprocessing, and reworking, and waiting, unneeded motions, unneeded transportations, and over inventory, and also intellect. I will have a short video showing that the model factory organization in my organized area, Ankara, industrial zone of Ankara, it gives you some figures what is in this model factory. Ayşe, is it possible for you to show the video of model factory?
Sanayi ve Teknoloji Bakanlığı Ankara Sanayi Odası, Ankara Sanayi Odası 1. Organize Sanayi Bölgesi ve Birleşmiş Milletler Kalkınma Programı işbirliğiyle 1,5 yıldır üretim sektöründe verimliliği artırmaya yönelik faaliyetler yürüten Türkiye'nin ilk yetkinlik ve dijital dönüşüm merkezi, sanayi işletmelerimizin yükünü azaltan ve fark yaratan hizmetlerine hız kesmeden devam ediyor. Kısa bir süre önce kurumsallaşmasını tamamlayarak bir iktisadi işletme olan ASOM Model Fabrika, farklı sektörlerden 120'yi aşkın firmanın lider kadrolarına verdiği deneyimsel yalın üretim eğitimlerini öğren dönüş danışmanlık programlarıyla şimdi bir adım daha ileriye taşıyor. Hata yapma serbestliğinin olduğu gerçek bir üretim ortamında verilen deneyimsel eğitimlerle elde edilen %65'lik hatırlama oranlarının %85, %100 seviyelerine çıkarıldığı öğren dönüş programlarıyla katılımcı firmalara kendi sahalarında seçilen pilot bir bölgede hiçbir yeni yatırım yapmadan ve sadece 3,5 ay gibi kısa bir sürede yalın dönüşümün sağlanabileceği ispat ediliyor.
Prosesimiz tamamen boya, yani akışkan bir proses olmasına, montaj olmamasına rağmen yalın üretim sisteminden çok ciddi verimler elde ettik. %83'lere varan, %90'lara varan verim artışı sağladık.
Katılımcı firmaların program için atadıkları proje liderleri sahada yapılan tüm iyileştirmelerde model fabrika danışmanlarının koçluğunda aktif rol alıyorlar. Dolayısıyla öğren dönüş programı katılımcı firmalarımızın kendi yalın ofislerini kurabilmeleri ve yalın liderlerini yetiştirebilmeleri için önemli fırsatları da beraberinde getiriyor. Yalın üretim metotlarını program boyunca hem model fabrika atölyelerinde hem de kendi sahalarında uygulayan bu liderler, pilot bölgede gerçekleşen değişimin firmanın geneline yayılmasına öncülük ediyorlar. Firma yönetiminin değişime olan istek ve kararlılığı ise topyekün bir dönüşümün ve program boyunca elde edilen kazanımların belirleyicisi oluyor. Yalın düşünceye olan inançlarını birer rol model olarak bizzat sahada gösteren firma yöneticileri sayesinde değişim hızlanıyor ve sürdürülebilir hale geliyor.
Ve bunun sonucunu aslında yaklaşık bir 3-4 aylık gibi süreç içerisinde çok ciddi miktarda aldık. Bir yatırıma ihtiyaç duymadan ufak tefek dokunuşlarla %50'lere varan hem iş gücünde hem de malzemelerde dahil olmak üzere israflarda çok ciddi kazançlar elde ettik.
4 ay süren öğren dönüş ilk pilot uygulaması ile elde edilen %140'lara varan verimlilik artışları, firmaların proje için ayırdıkları bütçeyi 1,5 ay gibi inanılması zor sürelerde geri alabileceklerini gösteriyor.
Model fabrikada keyifli bir esnek hat çalışması yaptık. Güzel de bir çalışma oldu. Sonrasında mevcut üretimimizi 7 katına kadar hızlandırıp yarısına kadar düşebiliyoruz. Bu süreç içerisinde hiçbir verimsizlik yaşanmıyor. Keyifli geçti. Eğer yanınızda birileri iyi bir şeyler yapıyorsa bu aynalama olarak bütün çevreye yayılıyor. Herkesin de farklı dinamikleri var. Birbirimizden çok şey öğrendik. Amaç zaten hep beraber kalkınmamız.
ASOM Model Fabrika, farklı sektör, farklı ölçek ve farklı yalın üretim seviyelerinden programına dahil ettiği 8 firmada elde ettiği çarpıcı sonuçlarla yetkinliğin ve dönüşümün birinci adresi olmaya ve rekabetçilik yolunu aydınlatmaya devam ediyor.
And the next subject is the school and industry cooperation, which is very, very important for the future's technology, because although we are talking to digitalization, although we are talking to robots, although we are talking to Internet of Things, the main factor is always and always the human. And the education is very, very important. And the education should be between school and industry. There are 341 industrial zones in Turkey. And I am the board member of Ankara First Industrial Zone, which is the most popular one. In this industrial zone, we have about 331 plants and about 45,000 people is living. There is 7 different schools, different stage of schools, starting from the kindergarten to the technical universities. We have connected all of them together. Also, we have connected them to the model factory. Means that the teachers of each school, the students of each school, they also spend time in model factory to see the lean culture, to live the lean culture, because lean is not only a production system. The lean is a living culture. In industrial zone, in the first industrial zone of Ankara, we have the kindergarten. In this kindergarten, we have the children between 3 and 5 years old, and they are producing the wooden wheels and different toys by using the turning machines, by using the milling machines with their very small hands. Also, they do lots of digital application. They do the CAD/CAM operations and also 3D printing with this age. And on the other hand, we have the very important school, which is the technical college. And the technical college gives the people as a basic technical information before going to technical universities. It's very important. And lastly, for the coming to digital world, and we have to make the connection, the universities and industry together. We have two vocabulary high schools in industrial zone. One of them is with the Hacettepe University, the other one is with the Ankara University. And in both of them, we are doing lots of digital applications. For example, with Ankara University, this year we have
Mr. Sadar, we couldn't hear you. Dear viewers, sorry, there is a technical glitch and we are fixing it. Please hold on a moment.
It's a real project for industry. In most of the companies, we make the projects in AR platform. And lastly, the case study. I will try to explain the lean and digitalization history of Serdar Plastik which was done between 2005 and 2009. Means that before the world of Industry 4.0 discussed in the world. Let me give you some brief information about my company. This is a family company and is in the 2nd generation, and almost 50% exporting to 5 different continents and more than 65 countries. We have more than 50 patents, and we are in 4 different factories in Ankara Industrial Zone with about 500 employees. And we have also a company in Germany, which is called Serco GmbH. We have 5 own brand names in the world market, which almost 50 patents. The most popular one is the Serco Automotive Components. And the second one is Sercoflex polymer springs for bat industry. And the next is Sarcomagnet, which is polymer magnets, polymer high technological magnets and very small micromagnets. And the next one is the Sarcoflow, which is for components for water heaters and boilers. And the new brand name is Tutec, is for the new brand name for the medical industry. We are producing high technology composite components for almost 13 different industries, like we are producing like the business jet components and helicopter pilots, visors, and also antennas for satellites, and also pumps for dishwashers. These are some of the products of Sarco Group. I think that's enough to understand the philosophy of the company. This year we have entered to a market of medical industry. As I explained you that it will be I think that it is the biggest opportunity for post-COVID operation, and our company makes the expiration valve assembly for the Turkish respirator in a very, very short time in the beginning of COVID-19. As you know that the biggest important device for the hospitals was the respirators. And it was a very, very interesting cooperation in Turkey, and 3 big companies comes together, and almost 10 different medium-sized of companies comes together to produce almost in 14 days the respirator. And my company makes the expiration valve of this respirator. Let me try to explain our digital system, which was established by my sister Özge Tutec. She was the leader of lean and digitalization in Serdar Plastic in 2009, but unfortunately she passed away in 2014. The SPAS is mainly communication of all the machines and all the instruments in the company. And we called as not Industry 4.0 at that time, we called as paperless factory. Till 2005, our target was to have all of our processes like the quality of Formula 1 pit stop, like you can see on the screen. We tried to be like this pit stop quality in the processes, and we worked hard on it up to 2005. In 2005, we have clearly understood that the system in airport is the best for our processes, because all of the steps is under automatic control, and there is a central computer which is checking everything for us in online. And then we have decided to transfer our company step by step, by knowing that will take time to change the culture, because the most important thing is the time for the culture change, because all the managements, all the managers, all the chairmen can decide something, can give some decisions, but to become decisions as a company culture will need always a time. But we know it because quality is never a constant. It takes time. It's our motto. How we started to our changes. First, we changed our complete computer system in all the factories for maximum data security, speed, and starting from cabling. We changed our computer system, cables, and also we put radio links between our companies. And in this case, we spent really an important amount of money for step 1. And for the step 2, as in the airports, we said that none of the paper will be used in the companies. For that reason, we changed our ERP system to use everything by barcode in the company, everything. And number 3 is to improve our production line according to Serdar Plastic lean system and 5S. Yes, this is the most time-consuming step, because you are not getting a new machine, you are not getting a new material, you are not getting a new patent. You are changing the employees in the company. It is really very difficult to change the philosophy of the people, because the humans are so organized that to continue their current life, they don't like to change anything. They don't want to change anything. I have some friends, not some friends, maybe lots of friends, that they are going to the same barber to cut their hair in maybe since 20 years or since 30 years to always the same barber. It's very difficult to change the people, but the management has to insist this one to change it. Like in the Tariq bin Ziyad in 8th century, he burned his ships to stop, to go back again for his soldiers. Number four, to make the lean lines, it takes too much time to make trial errors, and we have to find a new way to make the optimization of our lean lines. And for this one, we have started to improve our production line by 3D process designing tools. And now today, I can say that more than 25 to 30% of all the factories of Serdar Plastic has a digital sister in CAD. So when we started to a new project, we start first optimization by 3D process design tools. And if the lean processes and if the lean lines is ready, now it's the time to make the digitalization. Before arranging everything in a lean format, it's not logical to go to robotics, to go to digital automation. In that case, you will not increase your productivity, but you will spend lots of money for waste. In the model factory of Ankara, in our training program, we are producing a pneumatic cylinder. In the beginning of the program, we are producing this cylinder in 5 different batches, and it's almost to produce one single part, it takes about 2 minutes with 5 people. Then we apply all of the lean principles for the line, and after a certain time, the line becomes a really very modern U-shaped line. In this U-shaped line, we are producing now a single pneumatic cylinder in maximum 1 minute, but this time not with 5 people, but only with 2 people. And if you solve all the wastes in your production, then it's the time for digitalization. Before finishing the lean in your production line, you don't have to go to next step. And the number 6, we have connected all of the machines to the control station. Now, all of the machines can understand to each other. And number 7, we put unique screens for each production, and so that they start to control, all of the operators start to control themselves, like in the radars in the autobahns. If you see the radar on the autobahn, if it is mentioned that you cannot exceed 120 kilometers, everybody adjusts their speeds themselves. You don't need to anybody to check it. The number 7 is putting a unique screen for each operator was the biggest change of the production in my company. And number 8, we put unknown screens for each department of the company, so that all of the team leaders are able to see online monitoring. They can see the quality monitor, they can see the performances, they can see the announces also. And number 9, we generate our own applications for mobile phones, for Android and for iOS, because our department leaders unfortunately spend more than 3 or 4 hours in the meetings, and so that they are not able to inside their production. But by using that application, they are all they are connected to the machines, they are connected to the teams with his mobile phone. And number 9 was the change also our production system, because in that case we have started online communication between the departments in vertical, in horizontal way. No need anymore to call anybody, no need anymore to ring anybody, and the system keep all of the data in store, so that we know all of our capabilities. We know the things that we do it in a good way. We know the things that we are good making in a bad way. If you know your problems, it's easy to solve it. In number 11, we have started to use artificial intelligence in our SPAS system. The first one was this auto add and drop system. Again, it's the aim is to minimize the waste. As you know, that to control something, to measure something, is a completely waste in the production. It don't have any value to the product. And in our control plans, the system is checking every time before asking the control plan to the operator. He checks the capability of the dimension. If the dimension is capable enough, in that case, in the next step, the software is not asking that question anymore. And but after 1 year period, it resets the control plan to becomes in the original case. So by using this artificial intelligence software in the quality control system, we earn about 11% of time for my quality people, which is a really huge amount of time. And number 12, we have the augmented reality for the service of our products. We simplify the job of end users of Serco products. If they can read with our application, with their handy phone, to the label of the products, they can easily see how they can make the maintenance of this product, or how, for example, on the screen, how they can change the bulb of this product. Sure, they have to change this bulb in maximum 3 to 4 years, but if they don't know how to change it, in that case, they can damage the product. And the next one is augmented reality in the maintenance of the machines. In our factories, we all have the autonomous maintenance manuals and instructions in the company, but they are all in the paper format. But today's young people in the production, they don't like to see the things from the papers. What we do is we put a QR barcode on the machines, and we make all of the autonomous maintenance instructions go to the system, and so that if they will read this QR barcode from the machine, they can easily see step by step what they have to do it in the autonomous maintenance. That's all that I can show you, and lean and digitalization in my company.
Thank you very much for your wonderful presentation, Mr. Sardar. By showing your successful case studies, it is actually very encouraging to see the Turkey's Vision 2023 and how the government is focusing on R&D expenses, which is almost like 3% of your GDP. I'm also quite impressed to know the model factory, which is established in an industrial zone for learning the lean technologies in Ankara. And also it is very kind of evident or successful case studies which you are showing that the Sardar company, you are following like how the technologies you could harness for the benefit of increasing your productivity and also the efficiency. That was really, really very informative and insightful information. Thank you so much, Mr. Sardar, for your
You're welcome.
valuable presentation. And now we open the floor for questions. To begin with, let me start with the questions. To keep up with the Industry 4.0, the Turkish government and GOSGAP, which we are mentioning, the National Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises Development Organizations, are supporting SMEs in various programs and projects. Could you explain in more detail the kinds of support SMEs are receiving and how the Sardar Plastic are benefited to expand or transform your business?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. And first, I want to start with the definition of SMEs in Turkey. If you talk as the SMEs, it means that he has less than 250 employees and annual turnover less than almost 20 million US dollar. And if you are an SME and if you have a project, because the main start point is what type of a project of this SME has in their hand. Then you go to COSGAP support. The COSGAP support is there are number of different supports in COSGAP. But if you go to if you are talking about the digitalization, what I know, what we get also from the support from the government is that there are R&D and innovation supports. If you have a new idea based on science and technology, it is also supported almost up to, if I'm not wrong, $100,000, and 75% is supported by the government. And on the other hand, there's also industrial application support. If you have a new product and if you are looking for a new production technique, in that case, you will prepare a project and you will show it to the government. And it can be increasing a quality of a product. It can be decreasing the waste, decreasing the scraps, but it can be a production style. It is also almost $100,000, and it's also supported of 75%. And for example, the strategic product, it's very important. It's related with the vision of ministry, and if the product is strategic according to the ministry, in that case, it is supported up to almost $1 million, and it's a really huge amount. But as I said, that there are also, if you need a support for employees, if you support for human resources, if you need a support for laboratory, there are different supports for COSGAP. And the COSGAP is a very good organization. They are also inside the industry. They are not living outside the industry. We have the COSGAP also in the industrial zone, like the schools and like the others. Because if you want to join the play, you have to be inside the stadium. You cannot manage your team outside the stadium.
Thank you for that very insightful again by showing the different financial support you are getting from COSGAP, and also I believe Sardar Plastic is not coming under that category, right?
Yes, you're right.
Okay. Anyway, thanks for that valuable information. So my next question goes to about the policies related with the kind of support what Turkish government has created. So could you kindly specify what kind of policies created by the Turkish government for helping the SMEs to adopt the Industry 4.0?
It's a very broad topic, very broad topic. The Turkish government aims to transfer their economy into the knowledge of economy based on the development of high-tech products with high value added. Therefore, the Turkey government has chosen the digitalization as a vision, as a first vision. and the construction of model factories in all over the Turkey, not only in Ankara. There's a ready model factory in Ankara. There's a new one in Izmir, means that the west side of Turkey. There's a new one in there will be a new one in Bursa, is the northwest side of Turkey. There will be also in Konya, in the middle of Turkey. There will be in Adana. There will be 10 model factories in a very short time. That the government has, of course, everything is the most important thing for the tomorrow's technology is the digitalization, and the government knows it, and the government choose this digitalization as a vision of himself, and including the model factory, also the new vocational high schools related with digital, related with digitalization and electronics is also the way of showing the government in this field.
Explanation. This question goes about the challenges. Definitely, there are a lot of challenges or barriers for any SMEs to adopt the latest technologies. So, from your perspective, what could be the barriers or challenges for SMEs in Turkey for implementing the Industry 4.0 technologies?
I see. Yes, it's also a good question. Barriers. Actually, in my presentation, I have also tried to explain that in the step 3, the most important barrier is the human, because unfortunately, all the people, including me and everybody, all the people, we don't want to make changes. We are afraid to make to get some changes, and therefore we want to use the current situation as always. For example, if you go to a vacation with 4 of my friends with the car, if one of the friends sits in the seat, they will sit the same place up to the end of the vacation. I mean, we don't want to change something, and this is the biggest problem, and this is the biggest problem. And when you say the people, the SMEs, that what is your biggest problem for digitalization, I'm really sure that 90% of them says that this is the economical problem. I mean, they need economical support, they need financial support, because new technologies needs always the big amount of investment. But I think that the biggest problem is not the financial problem. The biggest problem is the human resources. I mean, if a company wants to make the digitalization, he has the team in-house. I mean that he has all the digital team who can make the simple softwares, who can make the connection of the sensors, who can understand the hydraulics, pneumatics, and everything, has to be his own team. But if you go to digitalization, it's different than to be an electronic engineer. It's difficult than to be a mechanical engineer. It's difficult than to be a software engineer. It's a combination of that. It's a joker man. It's like a Superman. You have to understand a little bit from the electronics. You have to understand a little bit from the mechanics and pneumatics, hydraulics. You have to know it in a good way. In a good way. Otherwise, if you try to outsource everything in your company related with digitalization, in that case, it takes really too much time, and it's sometimes lots of waste of investment. For that reason, I think that the biggest problem for the SMEs in Turkey is to have the correct person, correct human resources for digitalization. The companies who try to make this one with outsourcing couldn't achieve in a short time in a good projects. But the companies who do this one with an own team, he gets a better solution. in our case, in Serdar Plastic also, what you can see in the 14 steps that we have made between 2005 and 2009, they are all made by our own team. But our team has educated with different vocational education centers, and for that reason, the government has also make a big role and gives a too big value for the vocational schools in industry zones, and also the universities. Almost all of the universities in Turkey, they try to make vocational high schools in industrial zones, especially related with digital concept, digital industry concept. Otherwise, if you have the team in your hand, maybe this year you will not have enough budget to do something, but next year you can do it. But if you have only the money, but you don't have a team, you cannot do anything. I think the biggest barrier is the human resources.
Thank you for that great explanation, Mr. Serdar. I completely understood that we need to have the mindset up to adopt the latest technologies. I think that's going to be biggest barrier around the globe, especially for the developing countries who never had that kind of a ecosystem. Now, when the new ecosystem comes in, the people should have the kind of a mindset up to adjust with that digitalization. I think this is a really good example what I learned from you. And the next question goes about the Society 5.0. You know that integrating the Industry 4.0 into the society means finding ways to solve environmental and demographic problems at the same time. You know, as Japan is a kind of a role model trying to do the Society 5.0 through Industry 4.0. So how is Turkey leveraging the technological transformation to benefit the society as a whole?
I see. In Turkey, there are lots of organizations since almost 3 to 4 years. Maybe I have seen hundreds or maybe thousands of seminars and panels in Turkey. The reason of that one is to increase the awareness of the society on digitalization. And first, this is very important. I mean, all the population has to understand that the digitalization is an advantage for us to solve the problem. The aim and if you are talking about Internet of Things, if you're talking about the big data, artificial intelligence, we have to use for continuous improvement for our sustainable world. And if we can, I think that as a population, everybody has to understood that we will use digitalization for prolonger human life, for energy efficiency, for a better world to live. I think that the government is making lots of projects for organizing, for planning the population for tomorrow technologies by using digitalization.
Thank you for the explanation, Mr. Serdar. I have another question. So actually, yesterday, one of our previous productivity talks, the speaker said that to survive in a crisis like this COVID-19 pandemic or the global recession, companies had to look for the new opportunities with the new business models. So has Serdar Plastic adopted a new business model for this survival? So what kind of specific actions are you taking to manage the current crisis?
Yes. Yes, as you know that there were global crises that continued through the world before the pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic also. Therefore, in fact, I think that we are a company experienced in crisis management. I mean, we have the world has different crises since maybe almost 10 years. and we are working with global companies in all over the world. And for that reason, we have a team that is very closely following the pulse of the markets for automotive industry and white good industry and airplane industry and aircraft industry. And we have understood, because we have customers in China, we have suppliers in China. Starting from the November 2019, we have been informed about COVID-19. At that time, we don't think that it will be increased so much, but we have protect our company with some additional tools, and we have immediately share some of the purchasings from the different continents immediately. As you can see on my presentation of my company, we have almost in the industry 3.3 to 3.4 since almost 2009. So it means that our system is ready to control outside of the company. Therefore, it is not so difficult for us to manage all of employees, some of them outside of the company. And on the other hand, we have the customers almost more than 50% aboard. We are almost since maybe 10 years, we are making almost all of the projects through Skype or similar teleconference media since almost 10 years, because our projects are continued almost 1 year. And in this 1 year period, we have to meet with our customers minimum 20 times together. If we make always transferring with airplanes from here to the customer, it is really a big time waste. For that reason, we are very used to also to make the teleconferences. But of course, we have made some fine tunings. And but most important one in this period, what we have protected starting from the beginning of the March immediately, we try to protect our employees in the company in each step, and we take lots of different protections in the company, and the effectiveness of these measures will take also we have been registered by Safety Production Certificate almost 1 month ago by the Turkish Standard Institute. I think that I can say that the big issue that we have done during this period is protect all of our employees in the company. The rest for digitalization and online meetings and the working outside the company was not new for us. We are used to.
Thank you, Mr. Sadar. I think that's a very valid point which you mentioned, that protecting the employees is a kind of a great asset for any company. I think you did during the crisis. I think many of the companies, if you see especially in China, also some other countries, the particular company, they fired almost 60,000 factory workers. But on the other side of what Sardar Plastics you did is a really great job to protecting the employees, and definitely it's going to be one of your achievements going forward. So here my next question comes, for example, people always resist to change. So how is Sardar Plastic overcoming the resistance and making its Industry 4.0 transformation as smooth as possible?
Mm-hmm. This is the keyword of Industry 4.0. I think this is the really keyword. I'm sure that all the companies who wants to make this to change this to make the digitalization in his factory, the big problem of the companies is to resisting of the people. Of course, we went through the same difficulties, and as I have also explained in my presentation, number 3 is the changing the way of doing something. is really difficult for the people. And for that reason, the project took time because of the resistance of the people. And you cannot change anything. It's the same in the German people, it's the same in the Chinese people, it's the same in the Turkish people. The people have been afraid to change and innovation since ancient times. And I have, as I explained, that I have some friends who had cut their heads in the same barber since 30 years. I'm not saying a few, I say that lots of my friends to do it. They are afraid to go a different barber and think that they're afraid to change their barber, and you try to change their life in the company. It's very difficult. It takes time. You have to insist. This is the biggest role is for the management. The management should be inside the process. They should be just in the center of this digitalization project, and he has to insist. And everybody has to understand that this is a culture change. This is not the Industry 4.0 is not buying a machine. Is not Industry 3.0 is not an automation. It's a change of culture, change of living, and everybody has to understand that it should take time. I mean, if you want to have a kick from the egg, you have to wait minimum 21 days. Is about 35 degrees temperature. If you increase this temperature to get this much quicker chick, in that case, instead of a chick, you will have an omelette. And everybody has to know that it is a change of culture and it takes time. But it should be go step by step. I mean, step by step means no step back. You have to go always and always forward. And the one of the best example is for Tariq bin Ziyad. In 8th century, he has burned his ship to break the hopes of his soldiers to return, and leaving his team without any choice and allowing him to accept the changes. That is a way of doing. I mean, the most important thing is the management has to be insist and has to understand that all the people has to resist to change. But at the end, like in all of the industry revolutions before, Industry 1.0 is always also like this. Industry 2.0 is also like this. But the people insist, and at the end, it's getting better and better.
So your takeaway message is when we have the human resources, we are always going to have a bright future rather than completely going for a digital automation, right?
Correct. Exactly.
Okay. So with this, your explanations, I would like to go for the last one questions, or I would say what could be kind of a key takeaway messages from your today's whole session? So for our viewers, would you like to give a key takeaway messages for our viewers today?
Yes. And if I make a summary for today, and today's subject for everybody is the COVID-19 pandemic. And today we have the COVID-19 pandemic, and tomorrow we will have another one. The next day we will have another one, and it will the world is changing. In that case, every time, in every crisis and in every platforms, there are losers and winners. And in today's and in tomorrow's technology, the main war will be the war of cost, and which company will be more effective, more productive. He will gain from any of the crises. And to be powerful, for the companies, you have to start immediately for lean and in the digitalization. You cannot catch this train. If you catch it, in that case, you cannot do it anymore.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sada, for your valuable insights. and sharing the successful case studies from Sada Plastic. I believe all our viewers found your information and insights very useful. Dear viewers, due to our time limitations, we are unable to take all your questions. I would request to post your questions in our comment box, and definitely we will respond to your questions as soon as possible. APO Productivity Talk will be held every Tuesday and Thursday with featuring leading experts in the world. So please subscribe the APO channel and stay tuned for the next P Talk. Thank you very much.